The other fly in the ointment, so to speak, if you enjoy that type of metaphor, the other potential, I'm trying not to use the word problem. The other change that could happen is, if you haven't noticed, Steinbach is now the COVID capital of Canada. Literally, morning tiara. So it becomes increasingly possible, I don't know if it's likely, but it becomes increasingly possible that they punt us out of here and send us back to remote learning. I don't know. Well, let me ask you guys, how many of you would be happy about that if we got sent to remote learning? One. Okay, that's about what I thought. I'm not super keen on it either, obviously. However, doing all remote learning would be easier than doing half and half in some ways. So the thing is, well, you may have noticed, in addition to Steinbach becoming the COVID capital of Canada, per capita, that's got a nice sort of poetic ring to it, the alliteration there. The per capita COVID capital of Canada, that repetition of the C sound there is quite lovely. I might write some sort of poetry around that. It's too bad that Steinbach doesn't also start with a C, but the K sound kind of at the end of Steinbach can contribute to that alliteration too. Just composing a poem in my mind as I talk now. I'm going to turn this off, just because I hate the light and the humming sound. So what they have told us, they haven't told us that this is happening for sure, but they have told us that if it happens, it will happen with very little notice, meaning the government could announce today that we're going to remote learning starting Monday. That would also mean that they hate me and they hate you. But obviously there are bigger considerations than what's convenient for me or you in making that decision, which is why they haven't made it already. So for comparison, New York City just went back to remote learning for all of their schools because their test positivity rate got above 3%. Our test positivity rate is 14%. So by any measure that you could use, we should be on remote learning already. So I don't know if that means that it's going to happen soon, or if that means that they're determined that we all just stay here no matter what. It could be either one of those things. So what you need to know is, if it happens, it's going to happen fast. It will be a very short turnaround time, and they're eliminating cohorts, because if you're all going remote, it doesn't matter A to K, L to Z anymore. And they're going back to 7 period days. And not only are there going to be 7 period days, not that you guys are going to have 7 classes, but you would have, I know, right? Your face. You'll have the number of classes that you would have had in a normal year on the schedule that we have right now. So what would that be? 5 classes probably for most of you? 4 classes, somewhere in there. That means that, so what they have said is, let me see if I get this right. I'm going to try. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I think this is what they're planning. 9 o'clock would be period 1 and 7. 10 o'clock would be period 2. 11 o'clock would be period 3. 12 o'clock, period 4. You know, instead of those 10:12 to 11:23 or whatever, all those weird times that we've always had before. Period 5, period 6. I think this is how they're thinking to do it. I could be wrong in that it might be this and this, right? It might be period 2 at 9 o'clock, and then everything else moves after that, and period 1, 7 at the end. Whatever, either way, it's going to be something like that.
How could they do that if we're remote learning?
It is going to be live video classes. Not like we did in the spring, where I just post some stuff and you guys look at it whenever you look at it and do it whenever you do it. It's going to be live video, like Google Meets. I take attendance. You got to be there on your camera, showing your face so that I can record that you're there. I know. Me too. I feel you. It's not going to be awesome, but it's going to be a lot harder for you to just like disappear and slip through the cracks and do sweet FA like a lot of people did in the spring. If they do this, there's going to be no more, it's not going to be the optional BS that they did in the spring. No, it's not going to be the, oh, if you're passing now, you're guaranteed to pass. There's not going to be any guaranteed passes. It is going to be do it now, do it now. And so that's less fun, but it is probably more effective. So leaving teenagers to manage their own schedules has proven to be a disaster. So we're giving you a schedule and we're saying do it now. I just can never resist doing an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression if I have the opportunity.
Not even probably a good impression.
I will probably many more times this year, especially if we're doing this all on video. I might just do the whole class in an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression.
Not even good.
It's not even good. You hurt my feelings.
Sorry.
Now I must break you. All right. So, questions about this? Who thinks it's going to be awesome? That's what I thought. Me neither. But it will be survivable. The reason that I want to give you the heads up about this, even though it's just something that might happen and we don't know when it might happen, the reason I want to give you the heads up about this is that for those of you who are working on your off days, you ain't getting no off days no more. You know what I'm saying? No more off days. It's going to be classes from 9 to 3 every day, depending on, whatever your schedule is. So, I don't know how the Google Meets thing is going to work. I haven't had the opportunity to play around with that. I've never tried it before. So poorly is what I'm guessing, but from the technical point of view, I don't know exactly how that's going to work. I am hoping that I'm going to be able to record so that even if you don't attend, you will still be able to watch later. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to do that, but I don't know for sure that I'm going to be able to do that. It's going to give me a lot less time to prepare as well. So I will say that if this happens, which, by objective standards it should, even though I don't like it, if it happens, I don't intend to talk for 60 minutes and make you guys, listen to me talk for 60 minutes. Because I can't talk that much in a day anyways. So what it will mean basically is that it'll eliminate homework time.
The homework is fine. I
For,
don't want to sit down and listen to someone talk.
yeah, but that's what you're doing right now.
But like it's talking back.
Yeah, no, I know. And I don't, maybe it's possible that we can still have conversations and interact with each other on the Google Meets thing. Maybe. I don't know. Probably it is in some way. But yeah, it's not going to be awesome. But the homework is not a problem for some of you. Consider, though, that for others of you, the homework is a massive, massive problem. So not for you, but there are other people who seem to be close to completely unable to do anything unless they're here doing it. This will be, you should be able to basically not have homework because I'm going to talk for 10 minutes or whatever, and I'm going to give you something to do, and then you'll have the rest of the class to do it. So that should be able to compress your day into, being done by 3 o'clock. That's what I'm thinking, anyways. Any other, what do you guys have to say about it? Questions, concerns? What's gonna go wrong with this?
It's going to go wrong for people with period 6 spares or period 1. You're going to be sitting for 5 hours straight
Yeah,
without break.
yeah.
I mean, I'm happy that I'm not that person, but yeah, sucks to suck.
Yeah, it sucks to suckle, right? And that is a lot of time sitting in front of a computer. And for me, from my impression, I have to be sitting in front of my computer too. Right? I got to be showing you the stuff on my screen. Like I'm not standing up here doing stuff on the screen in an empty room by myself. I'm going to be staring into my webcam. And so it's going to be me sitting in front of a screen for 6 hours a day also. Not that I'm looking for your sympathy. At least I get paid. I mean, I don't get paid enough, let me be clear, but I do get paid something. It's better than nothing, yes. Don't take me seriously on not getting paid enough. I'm not poor. I'm fine. But yeah, it is going to be a lot of sitting in front of a screen. So hopefully no one has a schedule that is period 2, 3, 4, 5. Most no one does, right? Like most everyone has 3 or 4 or 5, like one of those 3 at least they have off. That they would be able to take a break, have lunch, whatever. Of course, there's no reason you can't be, if you're at home, you can be eating a sandwich while you're sitting there watching me sing and dance. I may bring in a guitar, and I'll just, if I got to record myself, I'll just sit in front of the camera with the guitar and just every few minutes just strum a random chord. Just to spice things up, I've got, geez, it's embarrassing that I have to think about this. I've got a few guitars. I'm just trying to think how many. 4, 5? 5 guitars? 6 guitars, sorry. And then I could rotate between, and it'd probably be more fun for me than for you guys, but I'm just trying to put the best face on it that I can. What else do you think is going to go badly with this?
Well, people with jobs.
People with jobs, yeah. People with jobs are getting put in a bad spot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my brother, just because he works full time, I'm pretty sure he just wouldn't go to school.
That will be his choice. So you have to think, though, as much as this is difficult for people with jobs who have gotten used to working a lot over the last 3 months in a regular school year. So legally, if you are a high school student, you cannot work full time, which is not to say that many don't. Of course, tons do, but it is illegal for them to do it. It is illegal for employers to give you hours. It is illegal for any employer to give you hours during the school day. They still do, and they always have, but it is illegal. So in pre-COVID times, do you think 20 years from now we're going to be talking about pre-COVID and post-COVID?
Yes.
I kind of think we are, yeah. I kind of think that, we're going to look back at the pre-COVID times and, oh, how innocent we were. We were all so young and foolish and we didn't know anything. Anyways, students didn't have the option of working during the school day and still graduating, still obtaining their credits. So some will have to make those choices, I guess, which is, nobody ever thought that the system that we have going now was going to last forever. It was never intended to last forever. And honestly, I'm a bit surprised that we've kept it going this long. But the one thing that we have learned, we've learned many things in the last 9 months? However many months it's been since this pandemic started. One of the things we've learned is that if you don't like something, just wait a few minutes, it's probably going to change anyways. Right? It just keeps changing. So things will keep changing and we'll keep adapting. And those who are adaptable will survive, and those who have trouble with change will struggle to adapt. And there's not much else we can do about it. Do you suppose, and I don't know the answer to this question, but from your perspective, do you think that having live classes is better than having recorded classes for the purposes of better education, I guess? Learning more gooder. Do you think you'd learn more gooder with the live classes as opposed to watching a recording? Yeah.
I like recording.
You prefer the recording?
Because there's not a whole point sitting down for that long.
I do like the ability to pause and rewind something.
Walk away, get coffee, come back, sit down.
Yeah,
Pause.
yeah, absolutely. But the ability to react in real time, to ask questions, that's really important too. And the ability to have a conversation in real time is important. So there's trade-offs. So like I said, I'm going to try to do both, but I don't know I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but I'm going to try, if it happens. And I'm still not sure whether I think that it's inevitable that it's going to happen because the numbers are so bad, or if I think that it's never going to happen because if it was going to happen, it should have by now. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure which one of those things I believe. But the principals did give us this a couple of days ago at a staff meeting. They said, we don't know if it's coming and we don't know when it's coming, but they told us to prepare in case it does. So in case it does, that we go to remote learning, this is what's happening. So it's, again, obviously there'll be a million emails sent out and all that sort of thing. So I don't know exactly what the schedule is, whether period 2 will be at 9 o'clock or period 1 will, but either way, I guess. Just don't ignore your email, I suppose. Presumably, if the province announces that they're shutting us down or the whole province down or the southern region down or whatever, everyone will hear about it. And nobody, shows up here the next day by accident because they didn't hear. Hopefully that happens. So. All right, are we done with that? Okay. You don't have to look sad yet, Marielle. It hasn't happened, and maybe it won't. But the one thing I do like about the possibility of, so the live classes seems like a real headache to me, but being able to see you guys will help. Because what I found in the spring is I was just kind of throwing stuff into the void. You've got a list of students that you're collecting work from and marking stuff and whatever, but if you never see any of them, they cease to kind of become people even. They're just like another number on a list, and you're just putting stuff out there and you don't know what anyone gets or what they don't get. You don't get to see Marielle's facial expressions. So you can't know how funny you are or not, and or how terrifying or whatever other options.